Hello again, it's Nikita, and now I'm going to play against Stockfish 3. Before any game, before I even start playing, I need to decide for myself what my strategy, what my overall strategy will be. And I need to hold to the strategy probably until the point when it's essential to change the strategy. But before even the game starts, I want to decide that in this game I'll be responding to my opponent's plans. So my goal will be to read and to try to understand what's the plan for my opponent. What is he going to do exactly? Why he does this move or that move? And as a response to that, I'll whether prevent him from following his plans or doing some counterattacks that will force him to respond to my threats. But generally what I want to do is to try to read what's my opponent going to do. Again, if you translate it to business, if you have competitor on markets, it's very good to do competitive analysis and to understand what strategy your opponents use, what strategy your competitors pursue on market, how they treat clients, how they work with customers, how they work with other areas of their business. And your position in this case would be to understand, okay, if my opponent is not really treating customers well, there are very negative reviews, I'm going to provide exceptional customer service. I'm going to be better than him. I'm going to do something really different to differentiate myself so the customers will choose me and not him. So this strategy we will use in this chess game. Traditionally, let me start with e4 and then see what my opponent is going to do. My opponent plays c5. I'm developing my pieces. I'm going to bring my knight to the game. Again, I want to keep everything very simple. Okay, my opponent now plays c6. I don't want this knight to be in the center. I don't want it to jump to d4. I don't want it to go to b4. I'm going to grab these two squares from him and I'm going to play c3. So that prevents my opponent to go on one of these squares. I don't like my opponent's knight to be in the center and dictating me what to do and to respond to him. So now e5. If there is e5, it's not a threat for me. We are still in the development stage. Now I need to think whether I can play d4. He takes, I take, he takes, I take. There will be lots of exchanges and a lot of takes. Eventually I'll end up with queen in the center that can be later attacked, but probably would allow me to keep control of the center. And it's also very important for me to now to keep the pawn on e4. So yeah, why not? I will just let me play d4 and go for the exchanges. Okay, my opponent doesn't take this pawn, which gives me opportunity to actually attack his knight with my pawn and solidify my center. Knight goes to the edge of the board. It's not good generally to keep your knight at the edge of the board. It means that your innovation team is kind of limited. It's not good for innovation team to have any limits. You need to give your R&D team as much opportunity as possible. What could be the plan for my opponent? It's hard to say, but probably if he jumps to c4 I can take it. If he jumps on b3 I can take it. It can only go back, but there is no place back, so if I attack it with my pawn will be taken by knight. It doesn't work. I can just play probably development move to develop my bishop at the same time attacking the knight. Also, it's protected by the queen. Other strategy could be to push a3 and then b4 to attack it by pawns, or just play some random development moves. But okay, since my opponent put the knight on the center, I'll just develop my bishop and give some pressure to this knight. Knight is protected. It's not favorable for me to take it because now it's weak knight. It stays at the edge of the board. I can attack it with my pawn. If bishop takes, I take. And later I can also develop my bishop and castle. So just to see what you're going to do, I'm going to pursue this move. Okay, king goes. Sorry, queen goes on c7. If queen goes on c7, basically it gives me the knight for free, which is a bit strange again, but never mind. I think there are no really dangers. I can just take it. It takes. So now I want to finish my development. My knight is still not developed, my bishop is not developed, and I need to castle. That's what I want to do now. So I just develop my bishop. Then I probably castle first. Rook goes on b8. Not a big deal. I develop my knight. What's the plan of my opponent? I don't even understand what's the overall plan is. It looks like my opponent just plays some moves without really thinking. Knight goes on g6. I kind of don't want it to hang around, but at the same time I see very weak queen, so probably I can place my rook and kind of give a pressure on the queen. I don't really care if this knight goes here and there, so I just give a pressure on the queen at this stage. Bishop comes, doesn't really bother me much. I just protect it. And again, since I already have material advantage, I can trade as I did in the previous games. I give double pressure on the bishop and the same time on the queen. So, but generally, I'm okay to trade everything now. Knight goes. Then I can take this one with rook. Are there any threats? Not really. I can just take bishop with my rook, attacking the queen. Then I can trade. I think that's the best at this point. Okay, knight takes my bishop. It's a check. I respond with my queen. Queen is still under attack. I'm +5 now, which is again better for me to pursue trading strategy. There is a pawn hanging here for free. I can just take it. My rook is protected. I can bring another rook. I don't really care much about this pawn. Don't see any issue with that. I think at this stage I can whether bring the rook to protect it more, or I can just take a free pawn. So if I take a free pawn, then my bishop technically can jump and do double attack on rook and queen, so yeah, probably I can just take a free pawn for now. Okay. My opponent allows me to put my bishop on c7 to make double attack on rook and queen, which is very, very favorable for me. At the same time, it does double attack on my queen and rook, but since I'm +6, if we trade queens, that's totally fine. I can just take his queen, allow him to take my queen, and now I can take his rook, allow him to take my rook, and then if I take and rook does check, I can escape and I'm still in winning position. Another way would be to just remove my rook, and another rook for my opponent will still be under attack, so probably, yeah, for the matter of more clean game, I would just remove my rook for now and take any of these rooks for free. I just take this rook first, and then I offer a trade, and my opponent has no choice but to accept it. So now it's just a technical position. I'm +8. I can do pretty much anything that I want, so I need to get rid of the bishop. I can promote my pawn, so I can just take all the materials that my opponent allows me to take. My opponent wants to attack the middle pawn. I can just protect it with my knight for now. I can just take a free pawn on a7, and I have a passed pawn which can be promoted to the queen, and I allow the free path for my pawn to go to the queen. There is a bishop controlling a6, but it's not a big deal. I have two knights. I can bring like the second knight to the game and help my pawn to go to the queen, protect my rook from danger. So my goal now is just to pass the pawn to the queen. Okay, let's not worry about my opponent moves. I can attack my opponent from another side. There is lots of things to do here. King goes, doesn't bother me much. I take free pawn. I take oh, there is a trade. Okay, just trade. Thank you. My knight hangs. I don't really care about it anymore, to be honest. I can just take all the pawns. I take here. I take here. It doesn't matter, so I can just take whatever remains. And I'm going to make a pawn promotion to the queen, and now I can just do lots of checks until I push the opponent's king to the edge of the board and then checkmated. Since there is a pawn, I'm not worried about stalemate. I can just continue doing checks. And once the king of the opponent is at the edge of the board, I can do a checkmate, ladder checkmate. That's it. So Stockfish 3 is done. Again, in this game I used the strategy of understanding what my opponent plans to do. It was not easy to understand because some moves were quite random, but generally it worked well. Thank you very much. Let's go to Stockfish 4.